Hey everyone, it's Andrew. I'm here with Charlie, and it's that time of the month for our Super Chewer box for April 2022. Before we start, if you can just hit the like and subscribe button, that'd be awesome. As we do in all my other videos, what we'll do first is go over the toys from last month, and then we'll unbox the box for April. So we'll start with the toys from last month. So if you remember, we had the Madagascar themed box. We got 3 separate toys. This was the Maro Millipede, the Laloa Frog, and I think this is like the something Kalakao Moth. We'll first talk about the moth. So this moth was that kind of like pull toy. It had some eyes on the top here, and then essentially it has this moth or butterfly wing. That you can use as a tug toy, a chew toy, that sort of thing. It kind of had a label on it that said don't use for active play or use for supervised play. I was actually very surprised by this toy. Charlie played with it a lot, as you can tell. So immediately, after we gave him the toy, he started chewing off the head on the moth here, which is actually not like a solid nylon. It's a little bit softer, so it's more of like a rubber. So if you see, it's more malleable and a rubber right there. And then it had these wings on the side here. What happened essentially was he would grab onto this and we would tug, and I could actually pull his whole weight with this, and it didn't really rip or tear from that specifically. And he's about 76 pounds, and he chomps down on things and tugs like crazy, and this actually held up very, very well from a tugging standpoint. The damage that you see on these edges is actually what happens usually is when he grabs the toy or gets the toy to himself, he'll go and start chewing on it or gnawing on it, and so you'll see damage here and on the edges from that, and then he essentially caught this piece up and started pulling on it that way. But when we were actually playing with it, he didn't have damage with it, so it held up pretty well, and I was actually very surprised by the amount of fun or play he got out of it. As far as the inside, what it was is like this canvas here, there's kind of like this, it's like almost a rubber layer, then there's another cloth layer, and then another rubber layer, so it's like this 2 separate layers, and that's the inside of it. We still play with it here and there as a tug toy, and then he'll kind of go gnaw on the top, but that's the moth from last month. Definitely got our money's worth out of it. He won't play with it right now because he's super excited for the box, and he kind of just lays here until he gets the toys. Next toy was the Laloa Frog. So essentially this was a squeaker with these rubber ribs on the front here, and it looks like a frog head. As always for him, he squeaked this like crazy. He would grab it, essentially just squeak over and over and over again, and then once the squeaker went, he'll still grab it and kind of chew on it. He always plays with these toys and likes it. If you look at it, it's got some tooth marks from him chewing into it. And then on the front here, where these ribs are on the front of the frog's head, there's parts that came off, but that's what it squeaks or doesn't squeak. It kind of just makes that sound, but he'll still grab this and play with it. He was on the couch the other day playing with it the other day. So that's that. And then the last one was this Maro Millipede, which was essentially this rubber with an opening, kind of like a Pac-Man, and you could put toys or peanut butter inside of it. I found that this was way too easy for him to get anything you put inside of it, so I tried putting a treat. I tried putting a treat stick in it and peanut butter, and it's very easy for him to lick it in, get it out, and he didn't really play with it much. You can see there's like a couple tooth marks or such, but for him, he didn't play with it much because he's got Kongs and other toys like this that are pack in much easier, and he's used to those, so he didn't really get much out of this. So those are the 3 toys from last month. What we'll do now is we'll open up the box for April. And as you remember, I'm affiliate with Super Chewer, so if you're interested in signing up for Super Chewer after we open this box, just go to the links below. I update them throughout the month. There's pretty good options depending on what they offer, so definitely check that out. But we'll get started with opening the box for April. Okay, so here's the box for April 2022. I believe it is a 420 or marijuana kind of themed box, but we'll take a look. Oh, actually it's not. So this is the Jackpot Super Chewer box. So that's surprising. I didn't expect that, but this is the Jackpot. That's kind of funny. And we'll see what we see in here. So as always, we'll start with the toys first. And so what this looks like is, this is called the Grab It trick. And so it is like a rubber themed or rubber rabbit with this hat on the edge here that's sitting into the toy itself. It's not really a stuffed toy here. It's just kind of this cloth lining that's shaped like a hat. This is similar as far as the rabbit design to a separate toy that they gave a while ago. I don't remember what it was called, but it had this like fluff casing around it that would peel off or rip off. I suspect that what's going to happen with Charlie with this toy is he's probably going to grab this and it's just going to peel off pretty easily, because as you can tell, this kind of just pulls out without any issue. So I don't really see the purpose of why they would kind of put this in a hat if it's that easy to get off, because Charlie's probably just going to rip it off and start going after the toy. But it should be a squeaker. It's very similar design in the past, and it usually smells like vanilla, but this one doesn't. I'll see if it has a scent, but yeah, it doesn't have a scent for this, but the prior one smelled like vanilla. So that's the Grab It Rabbit, or yeah, Grab It Trick, I guess. Next is in this mesh bag. This is called the Gold Rush. We'll kind of open it up from this bag and see what is actually in here, but it looks like some squeaker ball. If I can open up the bag, it's kind of like wrapped around it. So here we go. Sorry if it pulls out. It's just tied like really tight there. There you go. Okay, so this is just like a sparkly ball. It's kind of rubbery. That definitely squeaks. Charlie's about to go after the ball, so it's definitely squeaky. It is very soft. I won't be surprised if he chews through this, because it is a rather malleable plastic, so I suspect he'll bite one of these edges and kind of rip it this way. Similar to the bubbler from a couple months ago, but this seems a little bit softer. I won't be surprised if this breaks throughout the month, but I'm going to give it to him now. You're going to hear a bunch of squeaking in the background. Go, go, go. Good boy. And then next we have the Texas Tug'em, which says active play only. They've been sending more toys like this, but this is essentially, it has two separate, I guess it's for chips or so, for poker or something, but two separate solid nylon on each side. It's like a tug toy. It has this canvas in the middle with this green design on one side, and then the different shapes of cards on the other side. It's very solid. I won't be surprised if Charlie doesn't really play with this, because he tends to not want to play with this solid because it's too hard for his teeth. But it is a little bit similar to the Moth from last month, so it might be a little bit softer than we think. But that's the Texas Tug'em active play toy. So that's that one. And then as far as treats we've got this month is the jerky bar salmon recipe. We've gotten this in like lamb and things in the past, but it'll break up. We use this all the time for cutting his nails. He absolutely loves those treats. Similarly, we have the jerky bars beef recipe. As you can tell, it's just beef. It's still like a soft type of jerky bar, so it's not too hard. And then we have two separate treat sticks. We have beef recipe and another beef recipe. So we'll go through the box one more time. So beef recipe stick, two of those. We got the beef jerky bar recipe treats, as well as the salmon recipe treats. And then we got the Texas Tug'em toy, which will be interesting to see whether he plays with this, tugs on it, and we'll kind of see if it lasts. We'll see what happens with that. And then we have the Grab It Trick with the rabbit that just kind of pops off. So that's the two separate toys, and then the one I gave him before was the Gold Rush ball, which is just kind of a squeaker ball. It does say vanilla scent for that. I didn't actually smell it, but he's there in the background playing with it. I'm gonna rip these off and give it to him in the meantime as we close this off. Here, there you go. Grab it. Grab it, Trick. There you go. And then we'll give him this one as well. So that's all I have for this month. If you have questions about Super Chewer, please ask them below. Any comments or anything like that, I'll be happy to answer them. I've been with them for over 2 years now. What I have found is that over the past couple months, they're sending out the boxes much later in the month. So this is April 18th, and that's when I'm getting this box right now. It used to be the beginning of the month. I'm not entirely sure why. It's getting shipped out later. But that's really it. So if you have questions, comments, post them below. If you're interested in signing up, please post or use the links below. It does help me in supporting my channel, and I really appreciate it if you do want to sign up that way. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe.